I've actually lied. I didn't make $180,000 with YouTube. I made $177,000 with YouTube. Here's what works. I also wanted to show you this, which is absolutely ridiculous. This 3,000 viewed video, which is only a minute long, generated me $356, and every single day it generates me like, I don't know, $1 or $2 a day, which doesn't seem impressive in of itself. But when you have hundreds of videos generating you $1 a day, just $1, and so you have 500 videos generating $1 a day. What is that? $15K a month. Compounding interest. If you go to revenue, scroll my beautiful face right over here. We scroll down. This video has a $117 RPM. Before I say it, this is not some Zimbabwe dollars. I'll go to settings right over here, and then boom, US currency. Close. I'll refresh this page because I'm so handsome. You guys will see. Voila! All right, so with all that stuff being said, you better pay the fuck attention, okay? I don't have no course to sell you. I have a consulting agency, though. So I am going to pitch you after my beautiful presentation I have created last night at 4:36 a.m. So with everything being said, I'm going to switch over to my amazing blue light glasses so my eyes don't get burnt. I highly suggest you take out a pen and a pencil so you actually take notes. A lot of people, they just listen and watch, and they don't do anything about it. Alex Ramosi says this: if you genuinely learn something new, but you take the same course of action and you don't implement what you've learned, you just wasted time. You didn't learn at all. So the goal I have for you is that you have to make sure at the end of my presentation video, and after you've learned everything, and after I pitched you, you actually change and take a different course of action with said new knowledge that you have just implemented. First thing that I've learned is that your video content itself doesn't actually matter as much as you think. You always, this is what I see with newbies all the time. They'd always go ahead and be like, oh my gosh, my video content has to have the best voiceover, that has to have crazy edits. I have to make it just as good as Mr. Beast level. Oh my gosh, I have to perfect everything. That is all baloney. What you have to genuinely focus on is the topic itself. Because at the end of the day, you can have the best video that is way better than Mr. Beast, way better than any other faceless YouTube video out there on planet Earth. But if your title and thumbnail does not curate and complement each other inside of a growing demand, guess what's going to happen? No one's going to click on your video. People will only click on your video, and you will only make money when someone clicks on your video. So if you can't have a good click-through rate, or you don't have a good enough packaging and topic that's always in at least a stable or uptrending niche, your video is going to never ever get views, and you're never going to make any money, period. So you have to focus on packaging and the topic and the niche more than anything else. I actually had a student one time. He came up to me and he was like, Daniel, why is my video not getting any views? And he was asking me that because he was very, very experienced within the YouTube space. He mainly did shorts. And so with shorts, it doesn't matter what packaging or what anything in terms of click-through rate is, because people just scroll. All you need to focus on within shorts is the content itself. So it made sense that his long-form views were not doing anywhere near as good as his short-form views. He was like this short-form genius, got like multi-videos with 8 figures in views, 10 million plus. Obviously, I don't do ever shorts because shorts are not profitable by any means. You make like 5 cents per 1,000 views. That's terrible. That's absolutely ass. So he came up to me saying, why is my video not getting any views? I have the best video content. I'm very, very experienced within the YouTube space, but I just got 36 views on my video that I posted 6 months ago. And I was like, bro, that topic itself is already dead. He's making videos about like how to make, I don't even freaking remember, but it was just a very, very bad niche. And that niche was never ever like used for. It was outdated. It was some software or application that was used in like 2016 for like going live on whatever. So, and that complete application was dead now. No one uses it anymore. So that topic and what you're making your video about matters more than anything else. And vice versa, I've had videos that was complete baloney. One of my videos I posted 2 years ago in 2023 that still gets views to this day is how to turn on dark mode in Snapchat. And the reason why that got views is because everyone wants to figure out, how do I get dark mode on Snapchat? Because when they scroll at nighttime, what the hell? It's white, your eyes hurt. If you don't have blue light glasses, you need to figure out how to turn on dark mode. There's always a demand for it. Snapchat's going to be here to stay forever. It's probably not going to go anywhere. So when you click on my video, you expect it to be like an actual full-on guide. And guess what? I was just saying in my entire 50-second video, I was like, okay, here's how you can turn on Snapchat, dark mode, blah, blah, blah. You can't do it. It's not a available feature yet on Android. Complete clickbait, complete baloney. The video content itself was absolutely trash with no editing. I still got like 46,000 views. because of the demand, because of the topic, and because of the niche. Those three things matter more than anything else, absolutely, period. And if you master how to always find videos that always have a demand forever, you will do good even with the worst video quality you've ever found. You can hire an Indian, you can hire like someone who doesn't even speak English. But if the video content is always in demand and there's very little supply for it, I guarantee you will get views. All right. Number 2, overcome doubt with action. This is a very, very good skill that I have learned not only within YouTube, but just within business overall. What does this mean? Overcome doubt with action. What was my speaker notes? Because I actually forgot. Great, I didn't have any speaker notes. Okay, I'll just go off the top of my head then. So when you always start anything new, it's guaranteed that you will have doubt. Why? Because you never encountered the same thing ever before in your life. So whenever you have doubt, that is the downfall of a lot of individuals who don't know what to do next, and thus they always fall back to what they previously do. So let me give you an example. If you are starting your YouTube business and you have no clue what to do now because you're stuck between picking a niche, what are you going to do when you panic and you don't know what to do? You're going to start to go back to research, information gathering mode, not take any course of action, maybe scroll back to Instagram and TikTok, maybe go watch that TV with your boy. That's what you're going to do. And that results in no progress getting done, and you have to go through trial and error to actually figure out said tasks. So whenever you have a doubt in your mind, whenever you feel like something's not going to work, whenever you feel like you're not doing something right, you stop everything, you like take 2 seconds, and then you start taking action. You start going to work. You have to figure out, okay, now that I have doubt, now that I'm uncertain of what to do next, I have to attack this with more work. It sounds completely controversial because you probably don't know what to do, or you're probably overwhelmed. But when you, instead of doing information gathering mode or researching mode, you go work mode. So you hire more people. You go on to freelancer websites, and then you try to get better voiceover. You just do a different course of work, because now not only are you going to be able to get more things done and go through more split testing of trial and error, but your mind's going to be completely in a different zone now of trying to get tasks done rather than worrying too much. It's always a definite guarantee within business that you're not going to know what to do. Even me right now, I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't know even why I'm filming this video. But if you keep on attacking life with doing more things and doing more tasks and figuring things out along the way, you're going to succeed. That's always a part of business. You have to figure out things along the path, and you're never going to know 100% what's going to happen. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't even begin, because they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. I don't even know what I'm doing right now, like I just said earlier. So overcome doubt with action. So that way, not only do you eliminate doubt, because now your brain's going to always correlate doubting and thinking, oh, this might not work. I don't know what to do. They're going to associate that with more work. And obviously, they don't want to do that. So not only are you going to eliminate doubt, but you're going to get more work done, get more skilled, learn split testing. You're going to know what works actually, and then you're going to actually not only know, you're going to know what works for the. I just repeat myself like 6 times, but overcome your doubt and uncertainty with this immediate course of action. Whether that be finding a better freelancer, finding more video topics, doing niche research, finding the best competitor channels within your area to copy. That's what you have to do. Number 3, don't be vague. This is a huge misconception where everyone says, you think you have a lot of view potential in a specific video topic, for example, how to make money online. Everyone wants to go into that niche because not only one, it has a big RPM, but there's huge view potential. It's always massive supply, but that's where the mistake happens. If you're making a video topic about how to make money online, you're going to be competing with channels that have over 1 million subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and that's been in this niche for many, many years, that are completely taken over the market within just basic how to make money online. As a matter of fact, let me just escape. Let's do a quick theory real quick. How to make money online. I'll type this inside the search bar, and if I click on return, this is what pops up. Dave Nick, 8 hours ago. This channel has 1 million subscribers. So you're competing with a channel that has already 1 million subscribers within the make money online niche, super broad niche. And if I click on more, this channel generated 64 million views lifetime already. So he has a lot of authority to do better than your channel with a little baby 566 subscribers. You have to focus on a more specific video topic. So this one, 11,000 views. Sorry, 11,000 subscribers. That's still quite big. Romero, this channel has 17,000 subscribers. And then this one has basically 300,000 subscribers. How the hell is your video posted 2 hours ago, hired and outsourced by an Indian with 46 subscribers going to do it better than any of these? It won't. So you have to make sure that your video topic is a lot more niched and not vague. So not only is there less supply for it, and that just naturally increases the gap between supply and demand, but then you also have a greater chance of doing well. So yes, if you niche it down and make it super hyper specific, like instead of doing how to make money online, do something like how to make an extra $3,000 a week with ChatGPT and Canva. It's a random ass topic made from the top of my head, so that probably will not do really well, but that's a lot better, and there's a lot better chance of you actually getting views than how to make money online, period. Yeah. Number 4, add your own spin. This is a freaking very important one, because whenever people start to do, YouTube automation, and whenever they start to take advice from other said gurus on the internet, like me, everyone says to copy your competitors. Everyone says not to reinvent your own wheel, blah, blah, blah. That's generic advice. Everyone knows that. Copy what works. However, sometimes individuals do it too much to a literal T. They literally take the script, they match it word for word, they make the titles exactly the same, the thumbnails exactly the same, and it ends up just being a replica. And when it's a one-on-one copy, it will never do as good as the actual original piece. You might not even get views because there are so many copycats out there. There's like a million copycats of my own Evergreen Faces channel. And they're never, do they think they're going to outrank me? Do they think they're going to get more views than the original creator who uploaded it first? No fucking way. No chance at all. So yes, you do have to not reinvent the wheel. You have to actually copy what works, but you copy the format, not the actual content itself. So add your own kick to it, add your own spin to it. Make sure that your video is somewhat better and different from a unique perspective and unique angle, which you have added your own kick to. But make the overall theme and formatting of the video the same. So if you have, let's just go onto YouTube actually. If I type in how to make money with Shopify, example, super high RPM, very high view potential. I am very bad at spelling, but sorry, I drink too much coffee, so I'm like shaking a little bit. But let's say like this one, how I make $1,000 a day in passive income on Shopify. Okay, this video is Jordan Welch. He's super famous, and so that's why he's appearing at the top. And then this other video, 2 weeks ago, he's making, I don't even know what kind of content this is, but he also has a ton of subscribers. So instead of copying this exact, like, whatever this channel, like word for word or format for format, my video wouldn't do well, because the only reason why this video did good is because he's Jordan fucking Welch. He's the best dropshipper or whatever business he's doing. So it makes sense that people would click on his video content. Now, if I was trying to get into this space and no one knows my name, instead of doing how I make $1,000 a day in passive income on Shopify, I would retitle it as the same format but differently. So I'd do how a 18-year-old teenager with no previous experience makes $1,000 a day on Shopify. Something along the lines of that. Because no one cares who I am. They only care about how to make money. Now, people would care if I was Jordan Welch, but I'm not Jordan Welch. So the format should still be about making money in passive income on Shopify, but reframe it instead of how I do, like how a random XYZ individual, how a college dropout makes $500 a day in passive income on Shopify. How a college dropout with no previous experience made $1,000 a day or $500 a day within 52 days in Shopify. Some bullshit like that. That will do a million times better than copying it word for word, phrase for phrase. Let's scroll down here. Let's see if we find another good example. Bia Haza. This guy is like the biggest make money online guru on the face of YouTube. Starting $1 million business in a day. Very good. 325,000 views 4 days ago, okay? So instead of copying this, instead of doing how starting $1 million business in a day, I would probably do starting $1 million business with no previous experience in a day. So that the format's still the same, but that's a lot more relatable to said viewer watching my video, because I guarantee you more people will relate to no previous experience than whatever Bia Hazard did, because Bia Hazard already has tons and years of experience. And so people are not going to relate to them as much. They're not going to click on their video as much. And, Bia Hazard itself, it makes sense for him to make this video because he's already like super, super smart within the business field. I'm a nobody. I need people to relate to me. I need people to have a big enough reasoning to click on my video over Bia Hazard. So I have to make mine better. And to make it better, you have to be more relatable. Either more relatable or more relevant to the viewer watching. That's what entices that click to begin with. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Number 5, outsource what works. This is my little notepad here. Don't hire script writers when you don't even know if it'll do good. Test it for free first. This is so big. If you are outsourcing right from the get-go and you don't even know what works and what doesn't work, you are burning money. You're basically gambling. Why would you spend money on a script writer, on a thumbnail designer, when you don't even know if it will perform and get you an ROI? That's genuinely just gambling. Think about that. So what you have to do, this is what I personally done when I first started my own Evergreen channels, is that I started by testing concepts myself first. Yes, you have to be in the trenches, do some work a little bit yourself, so not only do you know for yourself what works, but you save money in the meantime, and you're not burning a hole through your wallet. So unless you're making $30,000+ a month in some separate business, or you're just rich, you're Elon Musk's wife, don't outsource without knowing what works. I would actually start off by starting YouTube automation as just YouTube. Faceless YouTube. Depends on what niche you're trying to get into. So faceless YouTube, don't use videos and create them yourself because that's not scalable. You can't outsource that later on if you are the face of the business. If I were to try to outsource this channel in the future, that's impossible. Unless I get a twin clone from China looking exactly like me and then training him to speak exactly like me, there's no way in hell for me to outsource this channel. So you have to make a faceless content, find the right niche, make the videos yourself first. If you're in a 9-to-5, figure it out. You have enough time. I guarantee you that. After you get off your work, you have probably at least 4 hours of screen time that you could be using towards your business. So figure out how to create good quality videos that will get views first. So figure out what niches work well. Is it the finance niche or is it the social media niche? Are you going to do better on your channel when it's a high RPM, or do you usually do better when your videos get more views on focusing on virality rather than the RPM side of things? Then, once you genuinely split tested and made at least 50 to 100 videos on your channel, you know exactly how to get viewers to click on your content. You know what makes a good thumbnail, you know what makes a good title, and you know what kind of topics are more evergreen than others. Then, and only then, do you start outsourcing, because the only purpose of outsourcing is to scale and to bring yourself slowly outside of the business. But if you're bringing yourself outside of the business without even having a business, or having a business that's bankrupt and not generating cash flow, you're cooked. So test it for free first, and after, let's say, 4 months or 2 months of testing for free and you still haven't gotten any results, that doesn't mean to go higher. That doesn't mean your content itself or your skill itself is bad. It means you don't know what works yet. You can always get things done with really, really bad quality. What do I exactly mean by that? You can have a bad voiceover that still does well, because it's not necessarily the voiceover all the time that reciprocated the bad views, but the topic itself or the hook on the video. You can have a really good topic, actually. You have the best topic with always in demand, but never in supply. But when you have the hook that's not related, that doesn't meet the expectations of the viewer within the first 3 to 5 seconds, you know what's going to happen? They're going to click off. If you see a Mr. Beast video about world's craziest water slides, and then he starts off the video vlogging in his bedroom, you're going to click off. I'm going to click off. You have to match the expectations of the viewer first. And all in all, you have to know what works properly before you outsource and before you just start to gamble, I guess. And it's not gambling when you know it works. That's just delegating your own time and actually putting yourself outside the business. So that's only smart later on. The sixth thing I've learned for making $100+ $80,000 on my YouTube business is that you're capped at your weakest point. If you have the best content quality, then this ties back to my very first point. You can have a legit, crazy good video content itself, but that will still get bad views based off of the topic. So you have to make sure that whatever your weakest point is, whether that be your thumbnails not being bright enough, or your titles not enticing to click on, or your hook that's just not meeting expectations with the packaging, or your voiceover just sounds really terrible, that's barely even understandable because you hired overseas for super dirt cheap from an Indian. By the way, I don't hate Indians, it's just Indians are not profitable on channels. Then you're not going to make any money. You have to make sure that every single week, no matter what, you're always improving your weakest points. And for majority of individuals on the YouTube platform, you are always tied down to the ability to find great topics. That's always the weakest point for individuals, because hiring the right talent is so easy. You just have to, go through the bad individuals, filter out the poor quality content creators, voiceovers, editors, and then just hire the best one. That just takes a few months of trial and error. But to actually find consistently good topics that are always in demand and low supply, that's always evergreen, that's the hard part. That goes to a lot of experience, a ton of trial and error, and split testing every single day, and studying your analytics as well. If you want me to make a separate video on how to always consistently find evergreen topics that are always in demand, comment green, and I'll do that, because it's evergreen. But you have to master everything, okay? Usually it's not the packaging. That's like for browse content and if you're trying to go viral. But the structure and the way that we create evergreen content is that you're not trying to go viral. You're just always trying to find video topics that's constantly in demand. You have to master that skill. That's the most important skill. But now, once you master that skill and you can always find the best video topics, you're going to always do a lot better than the individual who knows everything about packaging but bad video topics. But still, you're going to be capped, because if you have very, very good voiceovers, very, very good content ideas, but then the packaging is nowhere near as good as Guide Realms packaging, which is this other channel. You can search it up. It's another very, very big evergreen channel. And then the voiceover doesn't meet up and be as good as Guide Realms voiceover. Then just click on Guide Realms video. So you have to always make sure that everything is maxed out to the top to increase your overall money. And that actually ties in to the seventh thing, which I have learned. For you to maximize your revenue on your channel, you have to make sure that you are using this mathematical equation that I learned from Alex Hormozi. This applies to not only Evergreen YouTube, but for literally life. So listen up closely, pay the fuck attention. Output equals money. We all want to make money, but what even is money? How do you make money? Output. What is output? The result that you get from input. And what is input? That is your work. That is what you do. That is what you can control. You can never control the output, because that's just the end result of said input. You can never control if a girl likes you if you tried it and did everything you possibly can. Because yes, I can become the best boyfriend. I can have the most money. I can have the fastest car. I can be the most charismatic. But if I had all these things which I can control, but then the end output result was that that girl is taken or she just doesn't like me in general, I cannot control that. But there's always variables that you can control within the input that can maximize or, guarantee almost your chances of having your desired output. So for that to happen, you have to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck. How do we calculate that? Revenue, which is how much you make on YouTube, is tied down by only two metrics: RPM and views. RPM is how much you get paid per 1,000 views, and views is just views, how many eyeballs click on your content. The average RPM on YouTube is about $2, $1, something like that. It's very, very low. And the longer your video is, the higher your RPM is, because then you can place more ads within your content. And whenever advertisers place more ads on your content, they'll get more eyeballs, and boom, you'll make more money as well. So we have to figure out, how do we get the most dollars for the same view? How do we do that? Have a higher RPM. So to get your RPM to like $10, $20, or heck, in the beginning of my video where it's like $100+, you have to make sure that your RPM is super high. And how do you have a high RPM? To boil it in simple terms, you have to make sure that the people who watch your content have very high spending power. Because if your content and your viewers have a very high spending power, then they're going to most likely click on the ad and then buy whatever the ad was. And so the advertiser is spending their own money on your content will ROI. And when they ROI, they'll be really happy. They'll continue to spend all their ad budget on your content. And then you're going to also get more dollars per 1,000 views. Because the advertiser now is going to be willing to spend $10 per 1,000 views, $50, $100, because my video is constantly making them back more money. And then not only that, but their competitors are going to try to bid in and try to, because my video will have a limited amount of views, their competitor will try to also put their ads on my content. And so those two companies or advertisers are going to be starting to go into a bidding war. One's going to pay $15 per 1,000 views. Another one's going to be $20. And because I have a constant limited supply of views, my views are not going to be unlimited. So me like 2,000 views. Then they're going to always constantly try to battle and put their ad budget towards my face of my content. Let me know if that kind of makes sense. Did I lose you? Hopefully not. So make sure that not only does your content viewership have high spending power, but also the longer your content is, the more ads you can place and the more money you will make. So to maximize this first input equation, which is leverage, you have to have super, super high purchasing power from your viewers and have a super long video content. Now, the length of your video content doesn't matter as much as the spending power. That's the most important for high RPM. But when you leverage those two, you will have a ridiculously high RPM. That's how you get the most bang for your buck. That's how you get the most dollars per views. Hopefully that makes sense. So now that you have maximized your leverage and you have the highest RPM, how do we maximize the second equation, which is views? How do we get more views? Yes, you can go more viral. You can try doing that. But then now that goes through the difficult equation of, okay, if you go viral, you're going to spread into a broader audience, and then you can't guarantee that super high leverage viewership of high RPM. And so then your RPM is going to go back down. So the simplest way and the simplest form is to volumize and post more content. So maximum leverage, which is how much you can get paid per 1,000 views, multiply that by volume, more videos, and the max every time you just push that button and click upload a higher RPM. Do you see this like beautiful, amazing visual machine that will just start printing you money every single day? As you have a super high RPM and super high volume leverage, let's say you're posting 10 videos a day, and then you start posting 20 videos a day, and then after like 6 months, you're posting 100 videos a day. There's this channel called The Savvy Professor. You can search that up. That channel has over like 30,000 views or 20,000 videos or something ridiculous, and they leveraged volume better than any other channel I've ever seen inside the Evergreen industry. Check out that channel. So they're posting a ton of volume, but they're not leveraging as much RPM as they could be. So when you're always leveraging super high, just what I basically said earlier, when you're leveraging super, super high viewership, purchasing power mixed with a volume of huge backlog content videos, that's how you maximize your overall revenue. Don't forget I'm pitching you at the end of this video. Number 8, don't run multiple channels at once. Unless you already have multiple channels that are growing super successfully, you've automated and outsourced a lot of the work, then yes, you can do that if you're me. But you're not at my stage yet, most likely not, and you're just trying to grow your first channel so you can leave your terrible ass job that you hate. So all you're doing when you're running multiple channels is you're diluting your energy as well as your money. You don't know what works on either channels. You just be putting all that focus into one. So if you were trying to become the best basketball player, what would you do? Would you do basketball, do baseball, do soccer, do swimming, and do marathon running all at once? You're going to become mediocre in all those said sports. But if you just focus and push 100% of your efforts into just one aspect, which is basketball, more likely than not, you'll become the next Kobe Bryant. Does that kind of make sense? So same applies to YouTube automation. Put all of your energy, all of your learning, and all of your experience, split testing, and everything into one channel. Figure out one niche or just one strategy. Learn everything there is to know about that one strategy and execute it perfectly to a T. Always learn, always see and use your analytics to see what works well and what doesn't. And unless you just don't sleep for whatever reason, then just put all your time towards one channel. If you're some vampire that doesn't need sleep and you have unlimited focus and you have 20 cups of coffee every single day, sure, try to run 2 channels. I don't care. But then also, you'd have to have a bigger budget if you ran multiple channels at once. So I highly do not recommend starting up a secondary channel or third channel until your first one's making you at least a profit. You're breaking even, like $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month. That is when you can start to build other channels. But there's really no point. There's huge channels like Trevor and Ace. If you type in Trevor and Ace on YouTube, that channel is probably one of the biggest evergreen channels in the whole industry. He's still posting and going all in on his one channel. He's not posting and starting new Trevor Nace channels. He's just Trevor Nace. POC. What does POC mean? Proof of concept. You have to make sure that your video niche or whatever you're posting about has proof of concept in the past. Because you might just be starting inside of a niche that is nearly impossible to crack. If you start an MMA niche, that works. There's other channels that are very, very small that posting MMA content, and that's doing very, very well. So that means that you have the proof of concept that this niche works well, and it's just up to you to make sure that your content is going to be up to par within this niche. If you're doing a niche in the newspaper niche, or you're doing a niche that's completely dead and outdated, that just genuinely no one cares about or watches anymore, like slime videos. If you made videos about fidget spinners, there's no proof of concept anymore. Like, sure, fidget spinners worked back in 2016, but now no one ever watches that type of content. So you have to make sure that whatever niche that you're about to post videos in genuinely still works today. Then once that has been done, you will know that if your video doesn't perform well, it's not necessarily the niche or the proof of concept, but yourself. It's the video that wasn't good, or the thumbnail that wasn't good, or the idea that was not good. So when you eliminate the actual boat outside the equation, then you eliminate the guessing game towards what you actually have to do to become profitable later in the future. And the best proof of concept, something that will always work and continue to work, is basically the evergreen concept, which I always preach every single time. The reason why it always will continue to work is because the sole strategy of this vehicle is to always find video content that is always in supply. Always in demand. And when there's always demand, all you have to do is curate a video to supply to that demand. And that video has to be relevant enough or good enough that entices the viewer to click on your video over someone else's. So the moment you know that there's proof of concept, or you don't know there's proof of concept, is going to be when you're good. Hopefully that makes sense. This one is so important. This is what I completely undervalue, and a lot of people undervalue until recently, which I've learned. A lot of your freelancers, because they are freelancers, they're not going to be loyal, most likely, unless you just work with them for a super long time. Freelancers are designed to create money, make a quick bang for the buck, and then dip to find the next project. So freelancers, no matter how much you like them, will always come and go, and your team of individuals who create your videos will always change. They're going to leave, they're going to be on breaks, they're going to be inconsistent, and you're going to always have to swap out someone else for a new one. I do have a freelancer, however, that's been working with me since 2023 fall. So like 2 years nearly, 1.5 years, whatever. And he's still working with me, only because I'm the go. I give him bonuses, I'm nice to him, I'm hot. But if you're not any of those three said things, your freelancer team will always go, and that means that you have to keep on hiring. You have to always keep on hiring as if you're trying to hire 1 million individuals, and filter out the bad people as well. So there's like, I'm 99% sure that every single individual is not hiring enough, because when you are hiring too much, that's not even a thing. So I can guarantee that. You want to always keep them pushing out job posts, because you don't have to hire them. You can just look at who applied to your job post and then just filter out the bad individuals. Because let's say you have a perfect team, as an example. But if you find someone that you just found recently that has a very good voiceover, better than your old freelancer, just kick out your old freelancer. Even if they're like fine or whatever, train this new one, boom, replace it with a better one. You either want to replace your old freelancer team with someone who's better than you or someone who's cheaper. Otherwise, don't replace them because they're already trained. But the moment someone leaves and the moment you need a new one, boom, you already have a new one ready to go. Kick them back into place, and your freelancer team will never be out of stock. And whenever that happens, bro, I've seen huge channels that are very, very successful, but then they lost their entire freelancer team for whatever bullcrap reason, and then they have to stop production for like 2 weeks, and that completely kills their channel. And that's also why you want to get into Evergreen. If you always try to rely on your next video to go viral, and then your channel dies out after 2 weeks of no posting, then you're in a never-ending like wheel of trying to chase for the next video to go well. And that's not actually then a business. That's not a sustainable and predictable income source. And so for you to truly leave your 9-to-5 job and to never ever worry about the consistency or trajectory of your future income, get into Evergreen. This is where I'm going to be pitching you. If you want me to privately teach you and mentor you alongside with my team on how you can grow and build and scale your own Evergreen channel to then 5K a month, 10K a month, and then eventually multi 5 figures per month, however you wish, I'll have a link inside of the description of this video and the pinned comment for you to book a call with my team. If you genuinely think that you can actually make YouTube automation work and you genuinely think this is the right business model for you, book that call. If not, whatever, I don't care, up to you. Go watch some other YouTube content guru that'll pitch you a course rather than a consulting agency. So yeah,